What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. I'm Mistress Carrie, and welcome to my war room. I welcome you in here every night at 8:30 for us to decompress and go over the day, talk about everything that's going on, and give us a chance to all get together and feel connected because so many of us are isolated and needing some companionship and some therapy. And that's what we all are for each other every night at 8:30. So welcome to the War Room. Lots to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is the WAAF Big Gig. Now, we announced the Big Gig to celebrate WAAF's 50th anniversary. It was scheduled to be at the DCU Center on April 25th of this year. Headliners including Godsmack, Hailstorm, Theory of a Dead Man, Dirty Honey, and Dinosaur Pileup. Of course, then WAAF Signal 107.3 was sold, and people were uncertain about what was going to happen with the Big Gig. They opted to keep the Big Gig scheduled. Mike Shue and I were going to host it, and it was announced today that the Big Gig has officially been postponed. They just have to postpone it. There's just no way that they can plan on having it on April 25th. It has been postponed till April 24th of 2021, where it will still be a celebration of the 50 years that WAAF was on the air. Right now, Godsmack and Hailstorm are confirmed. Because it's more than a year away, Theory of a Dead Man, Dirty Honey, and Dinosaur Pileup are still, it's so far out that getting their schedules to sync up, they're uncertain. But regardless, hold on to your Big Gig ticket. Whoever ends up filling out the bill, if those bands can't be there, will be worth the price of admission. And if you are looking for the official press release and all of the official information, it is up at waaf.com. I also put all of the links up on this Facebook page. I tweeted it out on Twitter at Mistress Carrie, and also there's details on my Instagram, which is at Mistress Carrie WAF on Instagram. So it is official. The WAF Big Gig has been postponed April 24th, 2021. Hold on to your ticket. We are going to be there. Mike Shue will be there. I will be there. It's going to be one hell of a party, a year plus in the making and 50 years in the making. So I'm super bummed out about it, but there's just, it's coming up really fast. And with everything being so uncertain right now, they just had to make the call, and I totally get it. So postponed, not canceled, and all of the details are up at waaf.com if you want to see all of the official things. And if for some reason you wanted to get your money back from your tickets, there's details on how you can do that too. But I think you should hold on to them because it's going to be one hell of a party next year. So we got some stuff to talk about today. First of all, I've been watching all of the press conferences, not so much the coronavirus task force press conferences, the national ones with the president and vice president and Dr. Fauci, but more of the state and local. Can I just ask anybody that might have any input into those press conferences? I know that you don't want to pass a microphone around to the reporters, but it's really hard trying to listen to what the governor and the mayor have to say when they're answering questions from reporters and you can't hear the reporters' questions. You can only hear the response from the governor or the mayor, and the governor and the mayor aren't repeating the question from the reporter. So you have to listen to half the answer just to figure out what the hell they're talking about. So can we get the reporters' microphones so that we know what the hell they're asking about? So that's number one. Number two, today is Quentin Tarantino's birthday, and I put a video that you need to go and watch later on my Facebook page. It's the voice actors from Pinky and the Brain reenacting the scene with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson in the car in that scene in Pulp Fiction, but as Pinky and the Brain. It's amazing, and it's the best way I could think of to celebrate Quentin Tarantino's birthday. So if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Toast to you. You share it with Quentin Tarantino. I will cop to you and tell you that this is a Shirley Temple. I'm giving my liver a break tonight. Don't judge me. So there you go. My Shirley Temple. And I put extra cherries in the bottom because that's the best part. They have launched, they announced today in the governor's press conference, they launched a telemedicine site for the state called bowiehealth.com, BOUY health.com, where you can go on there and get more information about COVID-19. And also, you can go through and it asks you different symptoms that you might have, and it can kind of give you medical advice without you just showing up at an emergency room or showing up at your doctor's office. So that's Bowie, BOUY health.com if you want to check out the website that the governor announced today that will help you. It's telemedicine, and it's a great tool if you have access to it, which now everybody does. So that's up there for you. Also, Apple, in conjunction with the CDC, released a COVID-19 app that I believe is free, and it has information and interactive screening tools so that you can figure out what you might be experiencing symptom-wise, and to be able to kind of make some more educated medical decisions for you and your family. So that is a free app that Apple has up in their app store, and it's called Apple COVID-19. And if you just open the app store, it's a big headline right across the top. You can't miss it. I thought these stories were very interesting. There is a sex club in London called Killing Kittens that tonight, earlier, because of the time change, hosted their first ever digital orgy on Zoom. And they had over 100 masked participants on Zoom. Last night on Zoom, I watched my buddy Jimbo and his wife drink White Claws in their hot tub. Definitely not like watching an orgy at a sex club called Killing Kittens. And I think Jimbo's hurting today because of all those White Claws in the hot tub. How you doing, Jimbo? You good? Is this too loud for you? Which is, again, part of the reason why I'm having a Shirley Temple tonight. Also, Pornhub Premium, according to an article I read, and I believe everything I read on the internet, is now, Pornhub Premium is now free to encourage you to stay home. So, there you go. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting, because I was such a fan of these growing up, is that drive-in movie theaters are making a comeback now, because it's a way for you to go out and watch a movie in public and still be contained in your car. I love going to the drive-ins. They used to be all over the place, and now if you can find one, that is something very cool that you can go and do. So go to the drive-ins. It's pretty awesome. Some sad news. I read an article today that 86-year-old Medal of Honor recipient Benny Adkins, who sustained 18 injuries in 38 hours of close combat, has the coronavirus and is critically ill. Now, Mr. Adkins received the Medal of Honor in 2014, and I just thought all of us could maybe send some love and some positive energy and some prayers, whatever you believe in, to the Adkins family, because he's a hero, and I'm sure he could use all of the love in the world right now. So I wanted to tell you about that. The $2.2 trillion relief package was signed. Now, if you have defaulted on, say, a loan payment or a student loan payment, that is not going to disqualify you from getting your check if you qualify for a check, which a lot of people do, including small business owners and the self-employed. However, if you owe back child support, there is language in there that is going to keep you from getting your check. Pay for your kids, and then you can get a check from the government. So I believe that's one of the only things that disqualifies you, is if you owe back child support. So there you go. If you missed the announcement, because I know there's a lot of people that are, just getting in here, the WAAF Big Gig has been officially postponed. It was supposed to take place in a few weeks on the 25th of April at the DCU Center. It is now officially postponed to April 24th of 2021. Godsmack and Hailstorm, 100% confirmed. However, Theory of a Dead Man, Dirty Honey, and Dinosaur Pileup are still working out the logistics because it's so far ahead. These bands are, the whole touring industry is just so shut down, and the uncertainty of rescheduling shows and rescheduling tours and getting access to the gear and the crews and the venues and the trucks and all of it. It's just the logistical nightmare of trying to get the touring music world back up and running. There are a lot of questions on how soon bands are going to be able to hit the road and all of that stuff. So you can get all the details and all the confirmation and the press release and everything up at WAAF.com. All right, so what do I got to talk to you guys about tonight? Let's go over your cocktail of the night. Now, even though I'm having a Shirley Temple tonight because my liver needs a goddamn break, I did select a drink for you this evening. This one I thought sounded pretty good. It's called a Desert Island, which it all kind of feels like we're all on one of those right now. It's an ounce of Midori, an ounce of white rum, an ounce of pineapple juice, and 2 ounces of heavy cream, which could be good or could be bad. According to the recipe, shake the ingredients apart from the cream, strain into a deep cocktail glass, and then float the cream on top and serve it. A lot of people were commenting last night on the recipe for the dill pickle martini. There's no recipe. I put dill pickle juice in vodka, shook it over ice, strained it, and garnished it with a gherkin. It's not really a recipe. It was pretty good, but I wouldn't want to have more than one of them because it kind of kicked my ass later after we stopped talking last night. So that's your cocktail for the night. My shirt, I wore my Dirty Honey shirt just because of the big gig. I'm just super bummed that I'm not going to see you guys. I know Mike Shue is bummed, and everybody, that has ever worked at WAAF that was planning on being at the big gig is bummed too. But we're going to get together. It's not canceled. It's just postponed. So plan on it. So every night I show you something that I have in the war room, and I picked something really cool tonight, and there is a reason why I picked it. So I want to show it to you first. So back during World War II, obviously the number of deployments and the number of people that were sent out to serve overseas on ships, on land, and then obviously all of the people that served back home, the nurses, the pilots. Every town has a memorial to people that were lost during World War II, no matter the size of your town, because it was just so catastrophic, and so many people were involved in World War II. So I grew up in Leominster, which you know. And in Leominster, in 1946, they asked everyone from Leominster that served in World War II to put their uniform on and go to the football stadium for a group photo. And this is that photo. So this picture is from 1946. It is everyone from Leominster, I believe, that came home from World War II. And what is really cool is that handsome sailor right there is my grandfather. And he had this photo in his house for years and years and years. And now it is proudly displayed in my war room. And this is just Leominster. And Leominster wasn't half the size it is now. Look at all of those people. So this picture was taken. This is the Welcome Home celebration to returning veterans of World War II, Leominster, Mass., September 1st, 1946. So I wanted to share that photo with you tonight. How awesome is that? I love it. My grandfather was a handsome devil in his Navy uniform. He was on a cruiser in the South Pacific called the USS Biloxi, which they called the Busy Bee. He was the radio operator and was the Morse code guy. And that's why the tattoo that I have on my arm is Morse code, because I got it for him. So just a little nugget of information. But I wanted to share that photo with you because I'll show it to you again. Because a lot of these people are still alive, right? And they're our grandparents or great-grandparents in some cases. And everybody that's staying home right now, that's trying not to get sick, These are the most vulnerable in our population. These are the people we're trying to keep alive by not making them sick, which is why we're all home hanging out having cocktails in my war room right now. It's these people. These are the people that we're worried about. These people made it through World War II. They defeated the Nazis. They at least deserve us sitting on our asses watching Netflix so that we don't get them sick. So there you go. I apologize for the dust bunnies on the picture. I didn't realize it was so dusty. I spent the whole day, like 3 days ago, dusting my whole damn house. And I obviously didn't dust that photo very well. So, I haven't had a Shirley Temple in so long. They're still delicious. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, because I've been seeing it a lot on the internet, is that there are a lot of states that are having their stay-at-home orders go into effect, including New Hampshire tonight at midnight. And, you know, of course, Massachusetts, they were a little bit earlier because we had cases earlier. I mean, yesterday we were talking about the 150 healthcare workers from just 4 hospitals in Boston that have now tested positive for the coronavirus. There are 500 NYPD officers that have now tested positive in New York City. So there is a huge debate, and I am not going to have this debate. There is a huge debate about whether or not the government has the right to tell you to stay home, federal government versus state government, personal liberty versus what's best for everybody. So I'm not going to preach to you. It's America. You can make your own decisions and your own choices. But what I thought I would do instead is I'm going to tell you what I thought about making my decision. Now, I will tell you that I did leave the house for a few minutes today. And before I get there, Brian LaPlante is actually talking about the Navajo code talkers. And I will show you this other thing in my war room because he's bringing it up because we were talking about the Morse code. So I met one of the very few remaining Navajo code talkers at the Boston Wounded Vet Run this year. I met Mr. Peter McDonald. He is 92 years old and spoke for over an hour and a half about how the Navajo Code Talkers Code was invented, where it came from, who the Navajo were that came up with the code, how the Marines in the very beginning didn't believe in the project, how they recruited these Navajo, and how by the end of the program, there were almost, I believe, if I remember correctly, almost 700 codes that the code talkers had to have memorized in order to send those messages back and forth. And when I met him, I talked to him about my grandfather and how my grandfather was one of the Morse code guys that these guys were talking to. And I cried because it was such an honor, but just an amazing guy. He signed it for me and just, he's a legend. And it was an amazing, very moving experience to meet him. So thank you for talking about the code talkers because these guys, it took years and years and years for them to get the respect and the honor that they so deserved, because I think anyone that served in World War II would say that they turned the tide of the war, and because their code was never broken, and it's pretty amazing. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about why I'm making the decision that I am to kind of stay home. I did go out today to go and get some fruit. The last meeting that we had for benefits at WAAF, they had all of like the insurance people come in, and you know, they always have the tchotchkes, and the insurance people were giving out like spritzing things of hand sanitizer and stuff. And when they left, there was a bunch of the stuff left on the table, and I'm a zombie prepper. So I grabbed it all and put it in my office. And then when AAF sold its signal, I had to pack up my office and bring it home. So now I have all these spritzing bottles of hand sanitizer and stuff because I lifted them out of the conference room at the radio station. So I took one of them with me to the store because I wanted to get some fresh produce, including limes from my Moscow mules. And I sanitized my hands before I went into the store. Every time I picked something up in the store, I cleaned my hands again. I cleaned them before I had any interaction with the cashier. And then once I left the store, before I got back in my car, I sanitized them again because I'm not trying to be overly paranoid. I'm just trying to be careful. So I'm watching these debates happening on social media with people that are saying, on one hand, the government should lock everybody in their houses, and on the other hand, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want. So this is what I thought I would share with you. This is why I'm staying home, other than the fact that I got laid off and I don't have a damn job. I'm staying home because for me, the risk of not staying home isn't worth it. I have a really good friend named Matt, and he's got a great saying that says, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And so I'll give you some examples. I remember way back in the day, I used to smoke. I haven't smoked in years, but I used to smoke, and I got really pissed when they outlawed smoking in bars. And then I realized, wow, did that really suck for everybody that worked in the bars that didn't smoke? So I stopped bitching about it. I stopped bitching about not getting served peanuts on planes because that little free snack wasn't worth accidentally killing somebody's kid with an allergic reaction at 30,000 feet while I was on my way to Vegas. It just wasn't worth bitching about. I stopped bitching about the seatbelt laws, not only because of the annoying friggin' beeping if you don't fasten them, but because I grew up in a house with a firefighter, EMT, and a registered nurse, and I know all too well the words deceleration trauma and heard about stories of deceleration trauma at the dinner table, which probably scarred me for life. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And I don't bitch about helmet laws because the helmet, I was told by the paramedics that scraped me off of Route 2 in September of 2015, saved my life. I still ended up breaking my nose, but they told me if I wasn't wearing the safety equipment that I was wearing, that I would have died in the accident. And so for me, I always wear a helmet, even in states where it's not required, because I just want to be careful. And I just want to wear a helmet. It's just what I do. So when it comes to the choice to stay home, I've done a lot of reading. And again, I'm not preaching to you. You can make your own decisions about what's best for you and your family and all of that. And do I wish that I were working? Yeah. Do I wish that I were one of those people called essential that was still going into WAAF every day to be able to talk to you and try to get you through it and give you the news and all of that? Absolutely. And if I were, I would be extremely careful because I couldn't handle having it on my conscience that maybe I made Mike Shue sick or some of my other coworkers that I loved sick or made their families sick. So I would be very careful if I had to work. But I'm not working, so it's a little bit easier for me to stay home, although I will tell you that being laid off and trying to find a job, obviously, it's not that easy to do right now, especially in the music industry where basically everything is shut down. So I started looking at some of the arguments that people are making about whether or not the government's being too strict and more people die of the flu and all of that kind of stuff. So here are some little tidbits of information that I thought I would share with you that might help you or might not. I might be talking out of my ass, whatever. COVID-19 is not really like the flu. It's been described by healthcare workers as more like bilateral pneumonia. Now, the flu, yes, it does kill a lot of people every year. And they say about 1% of people that get the coronavirus will probably die, and the other 99% will survive. Depending on your physical health, what it's going to take to survive is going to be different. Some people, like a friend of mine who is a diagnosed case, are going to fight the fever and the cough and all of that. Unfortunately, for the person that I know that has it, they still don't have their sense of smell or sense of taste back, and the healthcare experts can't tell them exactly when that's going to come back. I like to smell and taste stuff, so I don't want to risk that. The average person that goes on a ventilator for, say, bilateral pneumonia or anything else is on a vent for about 4 days. The average COVID patient is on a ventilator for 11 days. And you're not just on a ventilator. You're on a ventilator in solitary, where your family can't be there to comfort you and nobody can be around you. And everybody that's taking care of you is deathly afraid of ending up in the exact spot that you're in. So it's way more catchy. It lasts on surfaces longer, and it takes way longer for anybody that has it to even realize they have it. I also heard a story recently that a cluster of people caught it, and this is firsthand knowledge that I got, but I'm not going to give out specifics but people got it because they attended a funeral. And so not only is the family of the lost loved one dealing with their loss, but they are all now dealing with the fact that they have now made some of their loved ones sick because they attended the funeral and then got sick themselves. So I started thinking about, okay, well, I'm pretty young and healthy, so it's probably not going to kill me. But I don't want to spend 11 days on a ventilator. And if they get to the point where they start worrying about how many ventilators there are, like there is in Italy, I don't want to take a ventilator from someone else, especially somebody like an 86-year-old Medal of Honor recipient. Because what they're doing in Italy right now is they have to give the ventilators to the people they think have the best chance of survival. And I, personally, do not want to take a ventilator from someone else because I couldn't handle it on my conscience after I recovered from the coronavirus, that there's a really good possibility that someone died because I got the vent and they didn't, and I couldn't handle that. I also couldn't handle making someone else sick if I found out that they kind of traced it back to me and like I made somebody's kid that had asthma sick, or I just couldn't handle it. And then on top of all of that, say you survive, because odds are you're going to, but you went on a vent or you spent time in the hospital. I don't want to pay the friggin' copays. Do you know how expensive it's going to be and the bills you're going to get if you get sick from this thing? It ain't going to be cheap. And for the first time in my adult life, I'm not getting health care from my company anymore. So I have to worry about all of this stuff where I never really had to worry about it before. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that these are the things that I think about before I start complaining about being bored in my house and wanting to go and visit friends and wanting to kind of go out and live my life as normal. Like I said, I went to the store today. I went really quickly. I was as careful as I could be. I got the hell out of there and came home. And otherwise, I've been pretty much locked in the house. So these were like all of the things that were rattling around in my brain. I don't want a ventilator that could have gone to one of these people because I couldn't live with myself. Now, my grandfather passed away of Alzheimer's years ago, actually within 36 hours of me getting home from Iraq in 2006. But I don't want to ever imagine myself and my actions having an adverse effect on someone else's life. I would just rather be home with Pornhub Premium, watching Killing Kittens London Sex Club have orgies on Zoom, and watching my buddy Jimbo drink White Claws in the hot tub. That's me. So take it what you will. Tell me to shut up, whatever. But these are just the things that I think about. And that is exactly why I'm sitting at home right now drinking a damn Shirley Temple because, well, let's be honest. I don't think I've had this many cocktails in this short a period of time than I have in the last 2 weeks with you freaks. So I want my liver to be worth something when the corona's gone. And I've been putting it in a workout, especially that dill pickle martini last night. Oof. Mm. So there you go. I will tell you, I heard something really cool today that they're doing in Leominster, birthplace of Johnny Appleseed, Pioneer Plastic City. And a lot of towns are doing this, so I encourage you to go on your town's Facebook page. A lot of towns are doing stuff to help kind of keep the kids occupied. So I know in Leominster, they're asking residents to put teddy bears in the windows, and then they're posting a list of the different places where you can go looking for teddy bears, and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt, but you do it from the car. And so families are out driving around Leominster looking for these teddy bears in people's windows, but you just stay in the car with your kids, and it's giving your kids something to do. And a lot of cities and towns are doing really cool things like that, just to give you a reason to leave the house, but to not have to interact with other people, to just stay contained in your cars. And I thought it was really cool. So go to your city or town's Facebook page or their municipal website, and a lot of different municipalities are coming up with cool little things to help with your kids. Also, go on some of the most famous museums. We talked about the USS Constitution during Facebook Live tours every day. A lot of museums are doing those as well. And you can kind of sit there and get a guided tour of all of these amazing museums if you're looking for kind of educational stuff or just cool stuff to watch with your kids while you're home. I also wanted to remind you guys that the new Pearl Jam album is out today, Gigaton, so you can stream that if you're at home not doing anything. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Oh, somebody said we just put a teddy bear in the window tonight. See? Here in my small town, Selena says people started writing on all of the windows. People are also going to state parks as well, and there's a lot of people going out hiking. I have seen more people just walking their dogs just to get out and get some exercise. I know we're all locked in the house, and I've been telling you about how addicted to Pringles I've been, but is it possible that we could come out of this whole Corona thing leaner and meaner, like John Candy and Stripes, where I'm going to be a lean, mean fighting machine? With all of the walks that people and their dogs are going on, are we going to end up losing weight in this whole thing? I don't know. With all of the vodka and the Pringles that I've been eating, hey, maybe not. I don't know. So what else are you guys? Terrence is saying Roger Waters' tour is canceled because of that. Eric said he went jogging for the first time in a while and he felt great. See? And especially to all of the marathon runners that, you got till September. Keep up the training, keep running, get out there and just keep running. Dave Grohl is doing a thing on Sunday night. There's a lot of artists that are doing these kind of live from their living room kind of concerts and stuff, which is really cool. Greg Smith says, my neighborhood is flooded with walkers more than I've ever seen before. Lou says, no, I'm definitely getting fat. Attleboro's doing an egg hunt with decorative egg pictures on people's mailboxes. That's really cool. So every town is doing some stuff. Jessica says they went out and read all of the historical markers and the monuments in her town, which probably never did before. And that's really cool. I know that there are some pretty awesome old cemeteries and stuff that that you could go and walk and check out. And Pamela says she's doing the teddy bear thing, which is really cool. Metallica is doing Metallica Mondays, where they're doing live concerts on their website and on their social medias every Monday night, showing older concerts, but they're picking a different one each week. I think it's at 8:00, so you can check out Metallica Mondays too. And then Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is going to be out on Tuesday the 31st, so that's cool. Let's see what else is going on. I love that you guys are coming up with all of the different things that your towns are doing. That's really cool. Then Steve says, I just ate a box of Cheez-Its. Dude, I feel you. If I wasn't suffering from a Pringle addiction right now, Smart Food and Cheez-Its are my top 3. They are like the hierarchy of snacks as far as I'm concerned. The sour cream and onion Pringles, for some reason, are just... Carrie says, Sandy, you should do quarantine karaoke. Okay, let me just get this out right now. I do not sing. I don't sing on purpose because it already sounds like I've been gargling glass since puberty. And if you are unlucky enough to have ever had me sing happy birthday to you on your birthday... You know, because you're still traumatized. Any of my loved ones and my friends will tell you that listening to me sing is horrific. The only time I ever did it in public was the story I told you the other night with Mike Shue when we sang Walk with Dimebag Darrell. And then it's walk. I mean, it's not like you're trying to sing. You're just screaming, respect, walk. So there you go. There's my karaoke, my quarantine karaoke. But no, I'm not friggin' singing for you. It'll give you nightmares, and you're already worried about the zombie apocalypse. You don't need that. Paul's chomping down on Girl Scout cookies right now. Freaking Girl Scouts and your delicious cookies. You're killing us. Ron shares my love of smart food. You ever run out of alcohol? It's essential and I love it. Well, no, I'm not going to run out of... Oh, and there's an Ozark Marathon happening right now too. So, yes, I sang Happy Birthday once on the air, Heidi. I know, and I don't ever want to do it again because it's horrendous. Jay, challenge accepted. Jay just said tomorrow we should all talk about the best concert we've ever seen. So that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. Cocktails in the War Room every night at 8:30 right here on my Facebook page. You can find me on Instagram at Mistress Carrie WAAF, on Twitter at Mistress Carrie, and right here on Facebook. And once again, we want to thank all of the doers, all of the heroes, all of the healthcare professionals, all the first responders, the truckers, the people that are working in the stores, the people that are keeping up the utilities so that we can be live on the interwebs, the mail carriers, the package delivery people. You guys are awesome, and you are making it very easy for the rest of us to just get the hell out of your way. So stay safe. Don't lick anything strange. Wash your damn hands. I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8:30. Stay safe. I love you guys. There you go. Enjoy your cocktail or your virgin cocktail. My Shirley Temple was delicious. Greg Smith says, I thought this was just weeknights. Hell no. We're not getting a break from all of this corona craziness. So no, I will be here tomorrow night, 8:30. See you guys then. Good night.